Hi and welcome to another YouTube video. Finally, I'm so sorry that there hasn't been a video in so long. For the first week, I was taking a little trip with my family and that was very nice, but of course I wasn't able to make videos during that week. I had one video that I was able to upload during this week, but I thought I could get back to recording videos after that week and after my boyfriend's birthday. But there was a job interview that I had 3 days later, and I needed the 2 days before that to prepare for it. And then sadly I also had to attend a funeral 1 day later, so yeah, it's been a while since I just had a normal day where I could play Sims and record videos, and today is that day and I'm super happy about it. And yeah, so this house that I'm building today, this is going to be a two-part video, one where I build the outside and one where I build the inside, because it's a big house with a very extravagant garden, and I really wanted to do it justice on the outside and take my time with it. So this video will focus exclusively on the outside. And yeah, this is a real house. I've got some pictures on the screen. And this real house is one that I saw when I took the trip with my parents and my little sister, and I walked past this house and we all were just stunned by how gorgeous it was. And then I saw the way the balcony was done with the roofing over the balcony, and I was like, I want to try this in The Sims. I think I have an idea how I could do it. And it would be a real challenge, and I just want to build this house in The Sims. So I didn't have my phone with me, I didn't have a camera with me, so I was lucky that my parents took these pictures for me that you see, and also I just drew over the house number and the license plates of the cars that were standing there, because I can't just post photos online of this house I saw when I don't even know the people living there. I don't know if it's a house where people actually live, or if it's a holiday house that you can rent and spend your holiday there, because there were 2 entry doors and also place for a lot of cars, and there was this space in the garden with place for 3 families to sit. So I don't know if it's just a big family house or if it's a house that a lot of families can rent to spend 1 or 2 weeks there on a holiday, because this house is standing on a very special place. It's standing right on a pier, and the windows that I am placing on the front, they are facing right onto the sea. It's standing 10 or 15 meters from the Baltic Sea, and there is a walkway in front of this, which is why I chose this lot that the museum in Willow Creek usually stands on, because this has also the view of the sea and then this walkway in front of this. But the real house has this walkway, and after this walkway there is a sandy beach, and the sandy beach is something special at the Baltic Sea because there are a lot of stone beaches, but this one is a very nice sandy beach, and then you just have eternal view of the Baltic Sea, and it's a very nice position. And I could imagine very rich people living there, but I also could imagine that they just rent this really nice place out to people to spend their holiday there. And if you are wondering how we were able to visit the Baltic Sea during a global pandemic, That is because I come from Germany, and so we didn't have to leave the country, and that island that we were going to didn't have any cases when we went there, and the little village that my parents come from didn't have any cases either, and I didn't leave my house for 3 weeks before the trip, so everyone was like safe going there, and while we were there we were also very careful, so everyone was fine with that trip and after that trip. But yeah, what I was actually talking about was that I didn't have a camera, so my parents took photos of this house for me so that I could recreate it in The Sims. And I really want to give a very special thank you to my parents if they are watching this, or even if they don't, so the world knows that I'm very, very thankful for my parents, because I don't think a lot of parents would understand when their daughter is like, oh my god, I love this house, I want to recreate it in The Sims, and they go on and like take pictures from different angles, and it's definitely not normal and something that I'm very thankful for, especially because a couple of weeks ago, when I reached 50 subscribers, I really wanted to share it with my family in our group chat, and that was the same day when my mom had a job interview that went very well, and she was like talking about it. And then I still wanted to share it that I reached 50 subscribers, so I was like, hey, here, I reached 50 subscribers, way less important of course, and congrats and stuff. But my mom was so sweet, and she said, no, it's equally as important, even though I personally know her career is way more important. But no, she was like, yeah, it's equally as important, and we're so proud of you. And that was just like such a sweet moment, and I'm just glad that they are so supportive and just want me to be happy. But back to the build, when I was thinking about how I would do this very special built-in balcony, I didn't realize what a problem it would be that the fencing that I would do on top would clip through the roof. And so I either would have this like fence clipping through the roof, or there would be like pieces missing at the sides. And I decided for the missing pieces at the side and wanted to fill it in with something in a similar brown color. And while I was doing this, I first tried to do like bigger items in that color, like near the fence, and then make them smaller nearer to the end. But that didn't really work out well, because there was still gaps, or there was still like some of those items clipping. So I knew that I would need an item with like a wooden siding or front or back that has this diagonal, and also a diagonal that is sloping in a similar way to the roof. And so I tried around with a lot of items that I could put into those sides to close the gaps. And yeah, I think in the end I managed to find something that fit in or filled in this gap kind of well. But the color didn't fit the color of the rest of this railing perfectly. But I was so glad that I was able to fill that gap, that I didn't really care a lot about the color. And especially with this balcony, I wanted so hard to be able to paint that space underneath the ceiling or the roof. But sadly that isn't possible in The Sims, so it looks kind of weird how it is white in there. But there's nothing I can do about that, and I think it still looks kind of good from the front. And also they had this super interesting landscaping with lots and lots of hedges, and I had a lot of fun trying to recreate it as good as I could and try to kind of fill in the gaps that there were from the pictures with what I remembered from that house. And I am very happy with the final result. I hope you like it too. And I hope you liked and enjoyed this video in general. And if you would consider subscribing, you would make me super duper happy. And I hope we'll see each other again.